The highest grossing Jake Paul fights ranked. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel, where we dive into the world of celebrities, combat sports, and the high-octane fights that have captivated audiences worldwide. So in today's video, we're breaking down the highest grossing fights of one of the most controversial and polarizing figures in the sport, Jake Paul. Join us as we rank the fights that have made Jake Paul one of the biggest names in combat sports and examine the impact they've had on the sport as a whole. So let's get started now. Number 5. Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley II, $3 million. Coming in at number 5 on our list is Jake Paul's rematch with former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. The fight took place on December 18, 2021, and was a highly anticipated rematch following their first fight in August of the same year, which Paul won by split decision. The rematch was just as competitive, with both fighters trading blows throughout the 8 rounds. In the end, it was Paul who emerged victorious, winning by unanimous decision. The fight generated a reported 260,000 pay-per-view buys and earned Paul a purse of $3 million. Number 4. Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, $5 million. The fight between Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, which took place on October 29, 2022, was highly anticipated as it featured a matchup between a rising boxing star and a legendary mixed martial artist. Silva, who is considered one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time, was also a former UFC middleweight champion. Jake Paul, who had been training for the fight for months, entered the ring with a clear game plan. He was able to use his superior boxing skills to control the pace of the fight and landed several significant punches on Silva. However, Silva showed his resilience and toughness by taking some of Jake's best shots and fighting back with his own strikes. The fight went the distance, with Jake ultimately being declared the winner by unanimous decision. The win was a significant accomplishment for Jake, as it marked his first victory over a former UFC champion and a fighter who he had looked up to as a child. The fight was also a financial success, with Jake earning a reported $5 million for the bout. Number 3. Jake Paul and Nate Robinson, $10 million. Jake Paul's fight against Nate Robinson was highly anticipated, as it marked the YouTuber's second professional boxing match. Nate Robinson, on the other hand, was making his boxing debut, but he was confident in his abilities and looked to prove himself against the much younger Jake Paul. The match took place at the Staples Center in Los Angeles on November 28, 2020. Jake Paul came out strong in the first round, delivering some powerful punches and keeping Nate on the defensive. In the second round, Jake landed a devastating punch that knocked Nate Robinson out cold, leading to an immediate KO victory. The knockout was a defining moment for Jake Paul's boxing career, and it quickly went viral on social media. Many boxing fans and experts were impressed with his performance, praising him for his technique and power in the ring. However, others criticized the match as being too one-sided and questioned Nate Robinson's decision to enter the ring without any prior boxing experience. Despite the criticism, the match was a huge success for both Jake Paul and Nate Robinson in terms of earnings. It was reported that Jake Paul earned a significant amount of money from the fight, with some sources estimating his earnings to be around $10 million. Meanwhile, Nate Robinson reportedly earned $600,000 for his boxing debut. Number 2. Jake Paul and Haseem Rahman Jr., $11 million. On December 18, 2021, Jake Paul was scheduled to fight Haseem Rahman Jr. in a highly anticipated bout. The fight was to take place in the light heavyweight division, with a weight limit of 200 pounds. However, as the weigh-in approached, it became apparent that Rahman Jr. was struggling to make the required weight. Despite several attempts to shed the necessary pounds, Rahman Jr. was unable to reach the 200-pound limit. As a result, the fight was called off. Jake Paul was understandably disappointed, as he had been training hard for the fight and was looking forward to the challenge. After the cancellation, Jake Paul took to social media to express his frustration with Rahman Jr. and accused him of not adhering to their agreement. He also called for better communication and organization from promoters and regulators in the sport to avoid such incidents in the future. Rahman Jr., on the other hand, claimed that he could have made the required weight if given more time. He also accused Jake Paul of not wanting to fight him and said that the whole situation was a ploy to avoid the bout. While the fight never took place, Jake Paul still earned a significant amount from the promotional events leading up to the bout. According to reports, his total earnings for the event would have been $11 million if the fight had gone ahead as planned. Number 1. Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, $30 million. The epic showdown between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury had been shrouded in uncertainty and postponements, but on February 26, 2023, the world finally saw these two warriors battle it out on the Diriyah Arena in Saudi Arabia. Originally scheduled for August 2022, the fight was delayed due to travel complications, and then again in December 2022 due to Tommy's injury. Despite all the hype and buildup, Jake lost the bout to Tommy Fury, leaving fans stunned and disappointed. Jake later made a shocking revelation, claiming that he had health issues throughout his training camp and even had a wet dream the night before the fight that affected his performance. Still, it is anticipated that he earned around $30 million. Well, that's all for today's video. Tell us in the comment section below what you thought of this one. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing for more. And don't forget to give comments and provide us with your valuable feedback. We'll see you in the next video with some more interesting facts and stories. And until then, stay tuned.